Nine Finger Productions was started in 2006 during my high school senior year. I had an idea for a movie called The Grand Theft, which was about a plumber, a photographer, Russian terrorists, and two cops that were after a silver case filled with $25 million.
So before The Grand Theft, Anthony and I had both worked on 2 feature films, which kind of helped us establish our relationship as filmmakers. So The Grand Theft kind of just came as like a natural next step to what we had done.
He started talking about wanting to do another movie, and I said, hey, I know I got some skills, I would love to help you out. And basically after that day, we got involved and we started making Grand Theft.
Anthony posted a whole bunch of roles that had a description of what they did, and I read over the assistant producer that sounded interesting, and I actually applied for that one. But when I went into it, I ended up taking a bigger role, I guess.
We had different sections, we had different departments working on different things simultaneously. They helped us prepare everything and get it all ready for the shoot.
Anthony and Bassam, and then you had our actors, Matt and basically all our actors had experience from drama. But that was it. We didn't have anybody who knew what they were doing. So we just kind of guessed at what we were doing and just kind of looked at how the pros did and kind of copied them a little bit.
There was one scene where Matt Hernandez, the plumber in The Grand Theft, had to drive a truck down the street, and there was a lot of problems with that one shot specific. One of the main issues was that Matt didn't know how to drive a car at the time.
We had to, push the truck because the engine was off. But yeah, we did like probably 4 or 5 shots until we finally got one that Anthony thought was good enough.
And worst of all, I didn't have a belt on that day, and I was wearing some pants which were a little too big. It was some Simpson boxers, so I think everyone on the crew got to see a lovely view of my big butt with Simpson boxers on.
So a lot of people that didn't believe that we could do it. For me personally, I had a lot of teachers that came up to me and asked, how come you're not focusing on the right thing? But to me, I always felt like I was doing the right thing.
Finishing The Grand Theft was obviously stressful, just as any movie is when you got a deadline. But we had scheduled to show it at the AMC theater.
We reserved a theater that was for 300 people, but actually that morning, I believe 400 people came. It was literally a packed house. We, the cast and crew, had to sit on the floor 10 feet away from the screen just looking up like this.
And it was just kind of an incredible feeling having a packed theater watching a film that we had worked on just as a bunch of high school kids, just making this feature film.
It was just really more hanging out and getting to know different people and just experiencing making a movie at a very young age, which was just really fun.
Yeah, it was a real cool experience to go through.
It was very hectic but incredibly fun at the same time. I mean, if it wasn't fun, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
So after The Grand Theft, we had a pretty long break. It was a 2-year hiatus. But during this hiatus, we still were developing ideas. And one of the ideas that we decided to go with was called The Perfect Woman.
Anthony started to pitch about this idea of his film, which is about the land of woman, and if you find that land, you can actually find the perfect match.
We wanted to get the entire crew back together, but it was pretty hard. People were at college, or people were out of town, or they were just, growing up. So we decided to bring in new people.
It was about like a tribe of women, so I looked for more like old tribal looking things. We painted the cloth we used for the tents to look sort of like caveman-y drawings.
Anthony's mom sewed all the costumes for Perfect Woman. They were amazing. She did it so precisely. Everything was prepared and it was so organized.
We have a bunch of easy up. So Anthony's like, you got some, bring some over. So like, okay, but we had this broken one that we had to duct tape because one of the poles broke. So every time we build up the tent, we had to get some duct tape.
Cheaply made, but it did work for us.
The Arboretum is filled with peacocks. So there was a peacock in front of us with like the things out, and you know how they make that noise where it's like, ah! down. So like we couldn't get past them because we were like, what do we do? Eventually, I think it just walked away. But yeah, Anthony was pretty mad because it took us so long to get there.
You always had an idea that things weren't as streamlined as it was in the movies, that you don't shoot in sequence, and a lot of it is done editing. But one thing I didn't really think about was all the time in between where you're setting up for one shot versus setting up for the next shot. And I was just struck by how much standing around there was, you know.
I was trying to picture all the shots in my head before the shooting, but then when I got there, everything looked different. So I had to come up with new shots that should fit better in that kind of environment, and that was a huge challenge for me. I usually compose by myself and just play by myself, and that's the easiest way, but it's not always the best. And it was really great to work with the real musicians, actually communicate to change the sound and like really detailed stuff, and that's gonna make the music even deeper, and I learned so much from working with them.
The Perfect Woman ended up being our first film that broke into the festival circuit. It was important to us because we felt like we had the confidence in doing this professionally. These experiences made us strive to be better and make something more challenging.
And I approached Anthony and I told him, hey, like, I would like you to produce this project for this festival. It's called the 168 Hour Film Festival. You get 168 hours to produce a film, and basically 2 weeks before the film's due, you get a theme and a Bible verse.
We knew we had to get a new idea, and fast, because the deadline was approaching. I know I went home and slept, because I had not slept for just about 48 hours straight at that point. Now, during the time I was sleeping, somehow Rio and Anthony got into my house and woke me up. I would have been pretty angry, except they were able to come up with the idea of Chinese antique, and we went forward from that.
So I had a summer job at a Chinese antique furniture store, and I had to work for this guy named Guo Susu. And Guo Susu is pretty horrible, but I learned a lot of experiences from him. And at the end of the job, I actually learned how to be a little more patient.
We planned out a lot, like every single details about what to shoot, because we had limited time. And guess what? The shoot wasn't smooth at all.
Everything that could have went wrong. Like a lot of equipment we just bought broke. We actually broke Chinese antiques. Furniture broke.
Yeah. 250 pounds versus old table. Needless to say, I won. Table lost, and that was very scary.
Everyone literally got sick. We all had to take medicine in order to, stand up to continue shooting. But we actually managed to shoot the whole thing in 2.5 days, which is amazing, I think. It was a miracle.
The main character of Chinese Antique, played by Paul Lowe, was truly a blessing to our production. He just took our production to a whole nother level. He was a professional actor. But the best part about it was he was really passionate about it and just really cared a lot and really just wanted to help more than anything. I think he did it just purely out of wanting to help us.
不要紧，天不会掉下来。
On the day of the deadline, we were still rendering, actually, and we did our best to get it in.
Me and Anthony jumped in a car and rushed there, and Anthony is a speedy, dangerous driver, and he'll be just weaving through cars, and the entire time I was afraid for my life.
But unfortunately, we weren't able to get in on time. But we were still able to participate in the audience award, which we ended up winning.
We did get a chance to submit it to other film festivals, and because of that, as a result, we got we won a bunch of awards and we got to go a bunch of different places.
We got entered into a lot of film festivals across the country, from like LA to New York, and even once in Beijing, so that was pretty cool.
It felt nice to get recognized and to let ourselves know that we're doing something right.
We took a pretty long break after Chinese Antique, and it wasn't until the start of the following year where we got together again and made the Nehemiah Band's first music video. Being on set again really got us hungry for more. So instead of making a short this time, we felt like we were ready to challenge ourselves with a feature film.
The original idea of Elevator actually was there for more than 3 years. I think it was around the time of The Perfect Woman. We're editing the footage, and Anthony somehow came up with this idea.
A young pregnant woman named Naomi who flies from Japan to New York to propose to her child's father. And when she arrives to New York, she is shocked at what she discovers, so she then runs away and gets stuck in an elevator. While in this elevator, she figures out that there's another person in the next elevator that is also stuck, and this person is Vito, and he's a young criminal who is running away from his past. So together they have a conversation that changes themselves for the better.
We started pre-production back in September, and right off the bat, we knew how this is just something completely different than anything we've ever done before. It is definitely a monster.
This time around, we are having to build two whole entire elevators, completely separate. Not like we're gonna share a set. These are two full elevators. So basically, we've got the framework and set in place, so the walls are sturdy and can be separated because it has to be a moving unit. We have to take it from location to location. And now all we got left to do is just throw the drywall on there, paint, carpet, do the front door, and we're done.
Recently, we've been casting our 7 lead roles, and we've looked over 100 actors already, and it's been a really exciting process because this is the first time we're actually casting.
The script requires a myriad of props for us to get, a actual train for us to shoot in, and not to mention there's also an airplane interior shoot, which is something that is just a nightmare, but in the end we can all get it done.
I think it's going to be a very big challenge. We are still college students trying to make it into the world, and it is a lot of things that we have to do, but I think that we are ready for it.
Because of how we progress, we've gone from movies which look like they are filmed, that were filmed and look like they were filmed in the backyard, to a movie which was filmed in just a couple days. Not a movie, but a short that's filmed in just 2 or 3 days. That looked like people were working on it for a couple months.
Wherever this film may take us, we know that this journey will be something we'll take with us for the rest of our lives.
It's huge. It's a huge goal for us, and if we do accomplish that, I mean, it would be amazing. So I think it's something that we need because I feel like we're ready for it.
We have a lot of help. We have a lot of people that care about this film and make it want to happen, and it will.
I think the amount of dedication and hard work I've seen in the previous films, like this is definitely something that's possible and that we'll be able to do.
It's just a real great experience to be a part of, just helping. Not only are you with friends, but you're with great people who are going to go to great places someday, and it's just awesome just helping being part of the movie experience.
We're able to make a film because we're able to get along with each other so on. We're just able to play off of each other, bounce off of each other, and just work in fluid motion.
Everyone has this heart, and they put this passion into the film, and then we make it not because we need to, but we make it because we want to.